Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L and today let's talk Hero Academia. Very simple. I'm coming into this video with a question. I want to know, why do people like Himiko Toga so much? To answer this question, I've done a few things already. I've looked up the popularity polls. I've tried looking for blog posts that might be a little bit elaborative of what they're thinking when it comes to why they like Toga so much. And finally, I ran a poll on the channel, a poll which got over 2,000 votes, and it also got about 62 comments at the time of this video. I've collected some data, I've read through the comments, so here's my attempt at trying to answer this question: why do people like Toga so much? I also know that a few of the comments don't really get why people like Toga so much, so this question is being answered for a very small minority of people. Why do people like Toga so much? Here are my thoughts, here are my ideas, I would love to hear yours. So ultimately, the simplest answer is most likely the correct answer. It all comes down to basic entertainment value. Ask yourself, is Toga entertaining? You put that question out to the vast majority of people, and the thing is, you're gonna get an overwhelming majority saying yes, she is very entertaining. Among the villains that are currently in circulation in season 3 of Hero Academia, she is very entertaining. And for this basic entertainment value, I think for Toga we can break it into 3 subsections, that being impactful exposure, incredible art, and unexpected irrationality. If I was to say why people like Toga in a very short summary, it's the basic entertainment value that comes from these 3 things, and then as the manga goes on, there's a few more things that get thrown in, such as Toga's overwhelming competence. So if you just wanted to know a very quick answer, that's it. That's why people like Toga so much. It's her basic entertainment value coming from those 3 things and that extra 4th thing. That's the short skinny of it. Now going into the elaboration. So Toga's entertaining, let's break down why. First, starting off with impactful exposure. And when I say exposure, I don't mean that Toga's getting naked, although she does that very often. What I mean by this is Toga has stage presence. There's quite a few insane people in Hero Academia. We have Shigaraki, we have Twice, and we have, let's say, actually we'll just use those 2. We have Shigaraki, we have Twice. These 2, or at least Twice in particular, he shows up around the same time as Toga, but in this time of season 3, Twice hasn't really been able to carry a scene by himself. He's been associated with Dabi. He's been walking around with Dabi. Meanwhile, we have Shigaraki. Shigaraki is a very cool kind of insane, but he doesn't really elicit the same kind of response that Toga has. That said, Shigaraki's also much more reserved. He's a bit more introverted, so he doesn't have as great set pieces that Toga has. When it comes to Toga, however, Toga is a very dynamic, bubbly character. Because of that, there's quite a few more things that you can do with Toga. So when it comes to impactful exposure, it's really looking at the way that Toga is used versus the way that, say, Twice is used. Twice largely does not have any great panels by himself. He is just doing his little gimmick, and then you contrast it with Toga. She's going all over the place. She has a lot of one-shot panels with just her face. She has a lot of very intimate scenes with Ochako and Suyu. She gets into people's faces. When you take that first aspect, Toga is just more interesting to watch due to the way that she's presented in the manga. And that leads us into the next part, incredible art. When you think about characters that have the funniest faces in Hero Academia, or the faces that are most likely to get you a laugh, that are the most exaggerated, the faces that you could think of right off the bat: Toga, Mineta, Izuku. These 3 characters get some of the funniest, most comedic faces in it. Mind you, Togas are never like really painted in a comedic light the way that Minetas are, but they're still pretty funny just to see the insanity of it, right? When it comes to the artwork with Toga, even in the most recent episodes, her faces are very expressive. They have some of the most unique expressions. The expressions you see on Toga are not expressions that you're going to see on the other villains. So when it comes to the art, she's very striking, she's very prominent, she shows up in a really strong way. When you have a character getting a full page just to draw out how her face looks, you know that the author's having fun with it, and you know that face is going to be striking for the viewer. And really, I would like to believe that the animators and the author going through all these phases. This must be some of the most fun work that they could do. How crazy can you make this girl look? Moving into the next part that builds into the entertainment value, unexpected irrationality. But what I mean by this is that Toga will not really behave in the ways that you would assume a villain should be behaving, right? For example, like we have Izuku, and we can draw a box around Izuku and we can say, this is what we totally expect for Izuku to do. When it comes to Toga, you can't really draw a box there. You don't really know what Toga's gonna do. And this is really demonstrated in the most recent episode when she met with Ochako and Tsuyu. Toga goes in and she's attacking them, but she's also like in the meantime talking about girl things, asking them to be friends. She has the audacity to ask Tsuyu if she can call her by her nickname too. Toga doesn't really follow any logic when it comes to her rationality. If Toga runs into her enemy, can you actually predict what she's gonna do? Is she just gonna flat out kill them, or is she gonna try and girl talk? Heck, is she gonna turn into some kind of other weird thing altogether? No, you really can't tell. So there is the novelty coming into unexpected irrationality, and this comes out like especially when you're like considering the YouTube culture. If you are a reactor and you're watching an episode of Hero Academia, most likely Toga is gonna be the craziest thing there that you can actually go like, oh my god, can you believe she just did that? So there is that sense of excitement when it comes to Toga. But that's par for the course for an insane characters. Insane characters that tend to be impressive and expressive tend to elicit this kind of reaction. So Toga getting it, makes sense. And then, you know, we put all these three things together and we get that overall package. Looking at the comments from the people who responded to the poll, it really does seem like the people who are really in love with her gravitate to her for the surface level elements and the surprise value that she brings to the scenes that she's in. Looking at the comments, some people like the yandere archetype, so they like her. And for those who don't know, the yandere archetype is pretty much just the kind of person who is violent in their love, and that violence might leak out to the person they're in love with, or it might leak out to obstacles to that love. So people like how she expresses that archetype, how she is an exaggeration of that archetype. Some people like how cute she is despite the fact that she's so violent. So this is one of those issues of the art being more striking. People like the aesthetics of her, and then that juxtaposed with the violence that she commits. The people that are really liking Toga are just liking the girl pretty much at face value at this stage, especially if they're only anime-only viewers. And that's fine. She's very striking, and she's very easy to get on board with. She's got a lot going for her at face value. As a casual anime viewer, or if you're just watching Hero Academia, you're coming in to be entertained, you're coming in to get a laugh, you're coming in to have a fun time, and undoubtedly, Toga can provide those at face value. If you're the kind of fan that wants a little bit more substance to the character, well, that's where you gotta start playing the game of like, how much substance do you want? Do you like the way that the author is fleshing out how she sees the world, or do you want to know more background? If it comes to that kind of stage, well, if you're that type of fan, you might fall a little bit away from Toga, and I guess you would fall into the more lukewarm category of just, yeah, she's okay, but she's not anything incredible. And this is where comments like people saying that Twice or Mr. Compress are more interesting. Twice and Mr. Compress, and Shigaraki to some degree, all are more grounded in their characterization compared to Toga, who is very exaggerated. And for someone like Mr. Compress is interesting. Twice himself could be interesting because of the way he talks. These characters leave the viewers wanting something, whereas Toga just bombards you with an overabundance of what she is, and you don't really like, what do you do at that stage? You just kind of accept it and just accept that she's gonna do these crazy things. She's kind of the kind of character that knocks a viewer off balance, and that off balance state, I think, prevents you, or it just makes you less likely to like question more things. There is, of course, the last category, the competence. How does Toga's competence play into this? Well, for the people who are like currently on the manga, I think the interesting thing with Toga is how her insanity interacts with people who are her friends. I love seeing a Toga that isn't crazy, because I know this character is super crazy, but it's actually really incredible that she can be so quiet. And the things that she's capable of by the time that season 4 comes around, the things that she does, they are like really worth attention. They are worth going like, whoa, that's effective. Whereas right now the season 3 Toga, and really you're gonna see some aspect of Toga's competence in the last bit of season 3, but right now season 3 Toga, she is just this in-your-face insanity. But for the people who looked at her and saw the competence that she demonstrates later on, there are those people that like the character for that. So, you know, to sum it up, Toga, from what I understand, why people like her, it's just the basic entertainment value. For a lot of people, it's very surface level. They just like the energy she brings to the episode pretty much. There's not anything really deep into it because there's not much you really know about Toga at this point. But that doesn't stop someone from enjoying what the character is doing in the present time. For the people who really love her though, that's just those people definitely their responses were more going towards the aesthetics of the character and the archetype that the character is based on. So that was actually a very interesting little bit to find out. Anyway, that was my little analysis of the comments that I got. Guys, thank you so much for responding to that, and let's give the thank yous right now to everyone that got involved. And unfortunately, if people commented after this, I don't have you here, but here we go. The Penguin Cipher 25, the first commenter, Straw Hat Asta, Do Hickey, Anthea Gliz Mantad, Wilping Davis, Arc Criminal, Immortal Ban High, CX3, Deku, not gonna pronounce that. Oh my god, you guys. Shoka Zaluman, question, MHA Fan 1345, I changed my name a lot 2.0, Bean Burrito, Big Green, Zach Chast, I'm Thrills, Goku Black, Leo the Alien, The Curiositas, Martian Animations, Tess Faye, Zach174, Mario Hoyamave, Shade Steel, Cypher, Bell Cranel. Oh! Sorry, I'm a fan of Dungeon Girl. Vanille Gregory, It's No Gravity, Anthony Padilla, Maria Martinez, Katrina May Gonzalez Machete, Koyazoid, Nintendo XD, Guacha, Crip Shadows, Aki Wallace, Junior Eligio, Papa Aeon, The Mischievous Dylan, Nemesis Alex, Kyle West, Andy, Ampersand, and then the Ampersand, Madam Ally Moonshine, Cindy Parkhurst, Sprite Spitfire, Just Don't, Demon Hunter, David Timmer, Blaze Heatnix, 89, JM, Psych, Ghost Killer XX, DC, Hell 7, Apple Juice, Aiden Jones, Justice Gonzalez, Ghoul Silver, Blue, and Bel Air. My god. Sorry if I butchered that. Anyway, yeah. That's it. Oh, and the last note is if you met Toga in real life, there's no way you would want to go anywhere near that craziness. The like for yanderes is really something that only comes out because you're in the safety of not being, because you have the safety of fiction separating you and the character. Anyway, guys, till next time. Hope you have a great day.